Hello, everyone. Welcome into Grip Lock Foundation's weekly disc golf podcast. I'm Trevor today, joined by Connor and Silas.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, Hunter left us again, and
this is a fun squad.
Now you got to deal. Whoa. I was gonna go more. I was gonna say some people are calling us like the bad boys of disc golf, and so you're gonna deal with that today.
Yeah,
we're
the
bringing
bad boys.
Only hot takes. And here's the thing: we got some really good stuff to get into. Some interesting things went down for an off-season episode. This is gonna be pretty packed because Ken Climo has left Innova after like 26 years.
My brain still hasn't acknowledged that.
We've got some Disc Golf Pro Tour awards, some controversial ones. We also have a little bit of off-season movement. We're going to do the In the Bag segment. As always, Silas is taking Hunter's place upon his request.
Fire.
Oh, he's bringing hot fire.
And Trevor's trivia as well. So we're going to get into all that after a word from our sponsors. Today's episode is sponsored by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head over to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. Today's episode is also brought to you by Manscaped. Hey, everyone, with the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, hit them with it. I've got something way better to share with you. If you want to look sharp for all those festive gatherings and maybe finally win that Best Groomed at the Family Dinner Award,
I do want to
handed
win
out
that
every year.
Yeah, I know.
Check out Manscaped's latest masterpiece, the Chairman Pro Package. Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave. I like that one.
That's funny.
Head over to manscaped.com right now and join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using code GRIPBLOCK for 20% off plus free shipping. Let's dive into the goods. The Chairman Pro is armed with not one, but two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe 4-blade foil is for when you want that baby's bottom smooth, and the skin-safe stubble trimmer is when you want to keep some stubble but clean it up a bit. Both keep you looking sharp while minimizing razor burn and irritation, because nobody wants to show up to the holiday party looking like they just lost a fight with a Christmas tree.
Literally not a single one of us.
But wait, there's more. The Chairman Pro has Flex Adjust technology, which is basically like the holiday miracle of shaving. It adjusts the unique contours of your face, and it has a lock as well if you don't want that. And with up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, you'll have plenty of juice to go from Santa's beard to smooth as a snow angel.
I have very unique contours.
Oh, for sure. Contours. Get the Chairman Pro package today and experience a shave as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code GRIPLOCKED at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code GRIPLOCKED at manscaped.com. Here's the thing, guys. That's a really good code, and I imagine you still have time to get that in before Christmas. So if you're looking for those gifts, make sure you head over to manscaped.com. Use code GRIPLOCKED.
It's a great gift for your dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Also, this episode is also sponsored by my dad, Kevin Kennedy. Dad, thanks for buying me breakfast yesterday.
He did not sponsor the show. I have to disclose that legally.
Well, he did.
He sponsored your life.
He did buy me breakfast, so like maybe that's all it takes for me.
He was a life sponsor. All right, let's get into the juicy stuff here. Ken Climo.
Would you say the disc golf news is plump this week?
It's plump.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and read. Innova kind of wrote a long statement, but this is a big deal. So I'll read the important parts, and
this was on Thanksgiving Day, right?
I think
the day before.
It was right around there. I can't remember the exact date of. Let me.
Like what a time to announce something.
These headphones are so loud. I can't think. I'll just do one ear off.
This is how Hunter does it, man. It was 4 days ago. What was 4 days ago? One.
That was.
It was something.
Silas, give me a day count.
It was Thanksgiving-esque.
Sunday.
1, 2, 3.
Saturday.
I think it was Wednesday.
Friday. 4 days ago?
It was either
you
Wednesday.
counted today, though.
Yeah.
You can't count.
So
that's not days ago.
Thursday.
Yeah. No,
it was on Thanksgiving.
You can't count today.
No, it was on. Trevor, it was on Thanksgiving, brother.
It was either on Thanksgiving or in any case, it was right on top of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was right in the midst of the season.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think I saw this.
No, I think it was the day before.
Very, very humble of you. I'm going to read the statement because this just gets posted to Innova's main website. Innova, it was like, thank you, Ken. You know, just typical opening. Innova expresses our heartfelt gratitude as we announce that longtime Star Team member and legend of the game, Ken Climo, will be parting ways with our team. Together, we've had an incredible 26-plus year journey of unforgettable moments. It's funny because I'll get into it later.
Okay.
That influenced our company in sport. With the support of Innova, the champ dominated the game at a level we will likely never see again. Interesting. Ken received
That's
an
a hot take.
opportunity. Here's an important line.
Well,
Ken received an opportunity he couldn't pass up. And although we are sad to see him go, we wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Ken Climo's legacy at Innova will never be diminished. He will always remain a vital part of our story. And then it goes on to basically summarize how Ken started playing disc golf, what he accomplished in disc golf. He was their first, Team Innova's first athlete. He won all the world titles, all the U.S. titles. They then say at the bottom, Ken Climo belongs on the disc golf Mount Rushmore. He is the GOAT of the professional side of the game. With, I think that there's like a lot of pulse light going into this,
Yeah.
which is interesting. I mean, kind of. Without him pushing the limits of what is possible with the disc, the sport would not be where it is today. And then it lists the rest of his stuff. And then it says, and then at the bottom it says, Innova and Ken Climo have had a long, fruitful, and overwhelmingly positive relationship over the decades. We couldn't be more grateful or proud for everything that Ken has done for Innova and for disc golf. We wish him all the best going forward.
Did Ken Climo write this?
Yeah, thank you and farewell, champ. So here's the interesting
I
thing.
think it's very well worded.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
I think that makes me feel joy.
Well, here's the
makes me feel sad.
Here's
but also
the
makes me feel
takeaways.
joy.
Kind of sounds fake.
Well, the big takeaway
Like they're
from
just
this,
trying to butter him up.
I don't mind him.
Well,
motoring.
as-
I mean, he's important.
in Innova's
Oh, yeah,
position,
for
like
sure.
this is obviously how you write it up. Like that's classy of them to like, yeah, they really like. If there were, and we don't really know the terms of this yet, but if there were any bad blood, like there's definitely a way where they could just be like real short and sweet about it. They gave him his flowers. However,
Well, so it makes
the
them look
interesting-
way better.
Well, the interesting
Yeah.
thing about this is like for the last, as long as I've been in disc golf, all we've ever heard is just weirdness and strainedness about the relationship between Kenny and Innova.
Yeah.
Because I've heard I've heard a number of things. I know there's been a lot of money back and forth between the two parties because obviously Climo kind of took a back seat to disc golf there. Now he had a lot of injuries for sure, but I think there's obviously ways he could have still been involved in the game and in their company. I think that a lot of the reason he wasn't, from what I've heard, now a lot of this is going to be speculation, is that there were some money, not disputes, but weird things that went on. Like I heard at one point that Kenny needed some money, and so he took some lump sums. Like his name is still on a lot of discs, right? When your name is on a disc, you get paid royalty. He's on, at one point at least, I don't know if he's still on all these, but he was at one point on the Wraith. He's still there. Well, not going to be, I guess. The Rock, obviously, he had his plastic blend with the Rock as well. The Eagle. That might there was others at times, but those were like some of the staples. I heard at one point that there was a rumor that he had been paid. He had opted to take a lump sum instead of continuous royalties because he needed cash. That was one thing. I feel like there's just been a weird relationship between the two parties for a while, and we've just seen in the last few years. I feel like Ken maybe dip his toes back into disc golf a couple times. He did some commentary. He did that Legends Skins match. He's almost expressed maybe a desire for either because he misses the game or because he's looking for financial opportunity. I mean, he established a long legacy in disc golf. If he wants financial opportunity, he probably has deserved it.
Yeah.
But he's kind of dipped his toes back in, and so I think that people have always kind of looked at Innova and been like, why aren't you doing more with this guy who is like a huge part of your company? And I think it's just really foggy, like their whole relationship. But in any case, we see in this statement, Ken received an opportunity that he couldn't pass up.
Yeah.
So now it becomes,
What's
does that
opportunity?
mean? And it had to be something that conflicted with Innova, obviously. Like, it's not like, I don't think if he signed a long-term deal to do commentary on the Disc Golf Pro Tour that Innova would care about that.
No.
So
because like the whole Philo thing, Philo's still sponsored.
right. Yeah, good point, Sal. So the overwhelming
He's got to be
assumption,
making his own discs.
well, yeah, there's a few.
Like
Well, he received an
Climo disc golf?
opportunity. That's actually a good angle, honestly.
KC
Yeah.
disc golf.
Well,
That's kind of fun.
because when you think about competition, the first thing you would think is like, oh, is he going to partner with a different
I
manufacturer?
can't wait for the KC Rock, ROCK.
Yeah, that would be funny if he tried to just remake. Well, because here's the thing is Ken's entire identity is with Innova, so I don't know if there's any value. I'm sure there's a tiny bit, but how much value is it if Ken Climo were to partner with Discraft?
Yeah, I don't.
Not really
I
any.
don't have
Like
any
who
idea.
who is buying
Like,
those?
who cares,
that
right?
Really, yeah.
It'd be like when Scott Stokely first got back in, where there was like this, and there was like this initial like big thing, but like, you have to put work in the sport to like stay around, and Scott's done a lot of that. But
And even he's made his own company.
right, but I didn't think about that, Silas. I think you probably are right. I'm wondering if the opportunity he received was somebody came to him and said, "Hey Ken, let's make Ken Climo discs." Which the fact that we could be living in a world where Stokely discs and Climo discs, because they kind of hated each other's guts back in the day.
Competitors.
Like, what a rivalry that is.
Yeah.
Maybe he saw Scott do it and he was like, I gotta get out there. And do
I can't wait for the video of Climo discs versus Stokely discs.
another.
Or maybe he's getting into Stokely discs.
No way.
And they're running a Climo disc line.
That would be
The
crazy.
Stokely disc Climo line.
That would be crazy. So the other thing was somebody on Facebook posted. They said Innova making room for Mr. Robinson, like with a little like shrug emoji, because people are speculating that Isaac could be going there, maybe Ezra, and then Ken Climo is not on social media, but his wife and him have kind of like a joint Facebook account situation, and they replied, guessing Ken, "Don't fool yourself, I left them," which I thought was kind of funny because like this article did not paint it in a way where Innova dropped him.
I also love
Like,
that they have a joint Facebook account.
I know. But it literally says like he received an
It's
opportunity.
like an older guy, like just an old couple thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's very funny.
They said he received an opportunity he couldn't turn down, and we're sad to see him go. So like Innova wasn't from everything we know, like just painting it in a way.
And
where
then
they
he's
dropped
like,
him.
nah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I left.
So implications for this, one thing is if any retailers such as like FoundationDisc.com have anything with Ken Climo's name on them, that's going to be more rare. So especially rocks. I don't know if we have any KC rocks in stock, but any of the like
I think we do.
Eagles or anything that have
Wraiths.
the
How
name
many
on there.
discs does he have with his
See,
name?
I believe he used to have more.
Oh, they took
And
him
I
away?
think like I've heard a lot of things about him taking sums to like either remove his name or like to basically give them up or like do everything. I've heard there's been a lot of things. Disc golf is very shrouded in mystery a lot of the times.
I think it's starting to hit me.
What is it? What's
The
hitting you?
coffee. I'm just kidding. That Ken is not going to be a part of Innova anymore.
So, but yeah,
I think I'm starting to realize the implications.
no KC Pro Rocks is going to be crazy.
Well, I'm just thinking like
See, Calvin Heimberg Pro Rocks just doesn't hit the same. The problem is nobody throws KC Pro Rocks anymore.
no, they don't.
It's just gonna. It's just
Well,
gonna be
if
like
they
some,
do,
They're gonna
they
put
throw
some
old ones.
They're gonna put some full color art stamp on there.
Oh, gosh. No.
Oh gosh,
You're gonna only see
it's gonna be like
Halo
that. It's gonna
Nexus
be like
rocks.
the new DX Destroyer stamp.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's gonna be the robot just like picking up Ken Climo and ripping him in half. It's gonna be on the rock.
It's gonna be Bane. breaking.
Oh man,
But I like the very first premium plastic disc I ever bought. Well, so I bought a Wraith, or what I thought was a Wrath from Dick's.
I think I may have had that thought as well.
I think everybody did. And I was like, okay, this thing's kind of cool. I went to a disc golf shop in Charlotte. I won't say the name. It's one that everybody knows of. At the time, everybody didn't know of it. But I went in and I was like, I like this disc, but it kind of goes a little bit too much this direction. And the guy was like, oh, well, why don't you just get a premium plastic version? I was like, okay. And I got a purple Wraith. And he corrected me and said Wraith. And I said,
Purple Wrath.
I'll take this Wrath here.
and so then I went
The
home.
Grapes of Wrath.
And I was like, this Ken
Purple.
Climo guy, he won 12 times. That's crazy.
It's the GOAT. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the Wraith was probably the first one I had. with
I
his
just
name on it
remember
as well.
throwing it and having no idea who Ken Climo was, but me and my friends would be like, dude, that was totally a Ken Climo throw. Anytime we threw well.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. And I think Sal's, I think I'd probably have to agree that I'm expecting Ken Climo to be making his own disc rather than another
I feel
manufacturer
like that makes
partnership.
sense.
I think if he is
It just
partnering,
doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't bring value, but I can't think of the financial value involved with going to another company. Because what are people...
Well, if it's an offer, I have to assume he's still making decent money from his Innova royalties. Maybe he's just not. I don't know. But if he were, then the offer he would have had to receive from another manufacturer would have to be pretty lucrative. And what company? These companies can't even afford normal players right now.
Is looking for that?
Yeah, what company's like, let's go ahead and just
unless they're just like huge Ken Climo fans.
right, like what company's like, let's just go ahead and toss some guaranteed money towards Ken Climo's way, even though he's never thrown our disc during his illustrious career.
What if it's just like Lone Star?
It's not them.
Well, the thing is, he's barely competing now.
Not at all. Let me correct you there.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
He can't. He's hurt.
Yeah, I think he says that he can't. He can't play more than like a few holes.
You're just buying his disc for the cool factor.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be making his own disc.
It's hard. That's why it's hard for him to go to another company, because how is he gonna sell a disc?
And it's not like he's even like throwing, like he can promote them.
Well, let me play a little.
But like you're not playing on the tour or anything.
That's what, because someone who is a legend, but isn't currently like
he wouldn't be a legend
he's
for
not
the disc that he's trying to sell.
He's not a pro level disc golfer right now.
Correct.
But he is a legend.
Yeah.
So that's why he can sell Innova discs, because he showed that these discs can whoop butt. Right. But if he goes to somewhere like Discraft or something like that, what is someone gonna be like? Oh, okay, I want to throw a force just like Ken Climo does.
Yeah. I want to play a game called like if I were to draw up like the most lucrative situation for him, this is how I would play it. It would be some kind of disc manufacturing situation.
Like for Silas, because I can see the confusion on his face. What do you mean by lucrative?
Like financial gain.
Financial gain. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what
like
that means?
the best case in his scenario?
If something is lucrative, means like there's money to be made.
I think I was confusing it with ludicrous.
If I were him, I would start making my own discs, and I would go one of two ways. Way number one would be trying to recreate Innova molds, maybe even some that don't exist anymore, such as 10-time, 11-time, like random like molds that people associate with him but aren't technically made anymore by Innova. I maybe would go that route, or you go the route of these are discs that I wanted Innova to make, but they would never do it. And so I'm making them. Like that would be the two routes that you could go. Because both of those I would buy.
He's like, I wanted a normal diameter Condor. They never made the normal diameter Condor.
It could have changed everything. It's just a Rock Plus.
Ew.
I think those are like the two options. But I'm sure it won't be long before we figure out what the deal is. I think usually as we get towards the new year is when things really start to trickle in. If we're talking about some kind of deal, but like I don't even know if he was on a traditional
contract. Dude, I can't wait to find out what happens with Ken Climo.
That's gonna be an interesting one to follow.
This is
gonna want to keep tuning in.
Maybe some of the most intrigued I've been in disc golf news in a little bit, just because of like what's gonna happen.
If history continues to repeat itself with this show, we'll know in about an hour and a half.
That is very
about an hour and a half. It's gonna break, and we're gonna have to come right back to the mic. So hopefully it breaks like on a Sunday evening. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. We'd get right to it. So yeah, that's Ken Climo. Keep tuning in each week as we get further into the off season, because I'm sure we'll learn something about that relatively soon. It's also really funny thinking about Ken Climo, like if he were to start his own Frisbee business and he had to like actually hop on social media and market, because like you never see that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be really fun to play around in disc golf with Ken Climo and just have him whoop our butts, because he's still whoop our butts.
Oh, for sure.
Especially at any of the courses we play.
Okay, we got to talk player of the year specifically, but all the Disc Golf Pro Tour awards that were announced. One of the player of the years being quite controversial. So we'll start with rookie of the year. They've kind of been rolling these out over the past like 4 or 5 days. Rookie of the year was not surprising. It went to Jesse Nieminen, who had a win, and Emily Weatherman in FPO, who had a win. And that was kind of the clear that was the clear choice on the ballot because they had wins. They were the clear picks. Then we go into most improved. Most improved went to Joey Anderson, Joey Buckets. He did have a great season. He kind of emerged as a real threat on the Pro Tour after kind of just showing glimpses the year before, so that makes sense to me. And then Evelina Salonen. Okay, she won a whole bunch. She won like 2 elites and 2 majors after like being winless the previous year, not having a great season. So that, okay, I can follow that line of thought.
Okay.
This is where it gets a little interesting.
Oh, no.
Now we go to comeback player of the year.
Okay.
First, we have Gavin Rathbun. Had an injury last season, couldn't really do anything, and then all of a sudden
he came back.
Had a great season this year. I believe he made the tour finale, if I remember correctly. But like really almost had some wins, was competing.
I consider that a comeback.
He came back, right?
Yeah.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Other comeback player of the year winner for FPO is Evelina Salonen. She swept the most improved and comeback player of the year. Now, here's the interesting thing.
Interesting.
Because I think these two awards are very muddy. I looked at the way they captioned them because I was like, I wonder how they spin this. So, comeback player of the year is up for interpretation. When you get it,
what is their interpretation?
I believe on the ballot, when we were looking at the ballots, there was some amount of explanation. But basically, the way they captioned it was like, hey, this is Evelina's first Disc Golf Pro Tour win since 2020. Like, she hasn't even had a win in years, and then she won 2 elites, 2 majors. Like, it was a comeback. But I don't really buy that. I'm trying to remember who I even voted for comeback player of the year, but I think and I think most people agree with this, but I think the way that these awards should work, if you even have them both, I think you just get rid of comeback player of the year. I think it should be most improved, in my mind, should be a player who made a large leap, obviously from season to season, on accomplishments.
Yeah.
Comeback player of the year, I think, really can only be either a very old player who decided to come back to the sport, or somebody who came back from injury. Like, I don't, in my mind, I understand that, like, with the definitions they gave, Evelina fit, and so when I saw it on the ballot, I'm like, she's going to win both of these because, like, she did have this huge leap in progression.
I don't really feel like the comeback player of the year is a very valuable title.
For most improved,
I think it would mean a lot to somebody like Gavin Rathbun, who was like, I thought like my career was in the mud. I was injured
for sure.
But like, I think it only because I think Paige Pierce probably won it last year and she like broke her leg.
Yeah, any other situation than that though, I don't really.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's like somebody who faced adversity that took them out, and they overcame and came back.
Yeah, I think because they may have given it Juliana Korver when she got back on tour and like made a little noise. Like, I think that makes sense too. Like in the NFL, I think they gave it to Joe Flacco last year because he was retired.
He's still
effectively.
Playing?
Yeah, he was effectively retired. They threw him on a roster because of injuries, and he made it to the playoffs. Like, he made a little run.
Here's what I would
maybe
do.
Ken Climo should get comeback player of the year
just for making the news again.
Wait, what was the first award?
Most improved.
Most improved. Here's what I would do. I would take the disc golf Pro Tour standings.
Just biggest jump in points.
Biggest jump.
Yeah.
Well,
and you get it.
That I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but it was probably pretty close to that. What did happen? Comeback player of the year is where
who else for FPO would you say had a comeback? Do you have another person in mind?
I'm trying to remember if I can. Let me see if I can look at my ballot because I'm trying to remember if
because I have no
if there
clue.
was anybody because like there would be some years where it wouldn't make any sense. Okay, this is. Hold on a second. We have like this awards data. This is just for player of the year. We'll get to that in a second.
Like Katrina Allen, she was pregnant. Did she ever come back for the season?
No, that would like maybe.
But that'd be a good comeback player.
Next year, that would be a great comeback player. Yeah,
yeah.
I can't look at the ballot anymore.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know that I remember looking at it at all and being like, oh, this person makes sense.
So your definition is someone that puts a pause on the disc golf game.
I think you got to come back from something.
Few events.
Yeah,
I think you have to come back.
I think you have to come back from something other than poor play.
Evelina came back from Estonia.
Good point.
Geographically, she's the comeback player of the year.
That's a good point.
Yes.
She came back to the U.S. and went back to Estonia and then came back to the U.S. again.
Yeah,
she was like the 4-time comeback player of the year.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Never mind. Moving on. That's a good point, Salas. So next we had a prestigious award. One that I didn't know existed because there was no voting for it. The Community Champions.
What?
Given to Paul Macbeth and Kristin Sitar for their work in the community.
Oh, okay.
Community Champions.
I understand.
Can we get a round of applause for the Community Champions?
Yeah.
Just one round. Just one round. There you go.
Community Champions.
Don't overthink it.
Well,
I feel like
Paul's
there could be a better
foundation.
name for that.
Then the community champions. They were the champions of the community. So Connor, they literally won the community.
Wait, Kristin was the second one for
this
FPL?
award, which was so this award was determined solely by tour card holders. I should mention that.
Okay.
It went to Kristin for her inspiring play, her roles as an ambassador for the sport. In the growing European disc golf scene as being a stellar role model for young and upcoming female athletes. Okay. And then Paul was voted for his foundation, obviously.
I feel like community champions should be the ones who contributed the most to a disc golf community that we're proud of, as in like maintaining that disc golf community. That's what that says to me, not who did.
To me, it says like your local community.
Your local community, but then that definitely wouldn't include Paul.
Well, I don't know.
It's the opposite of local.
Not local community. Work in the community, not disc golf community, but like the community.
Charitable.
Like charitable, yeah. That's where I get it.
I feel like it should have just been called. But that's where it's
the
weird
charitable
because
award.
Their supposed nominations for it are for such. No, sorry. Well, not sorry. No, their nominations for. I don't have
Connor,
any.
Are you trying to break news?
I think they're both good people.
Your supposed nomination. Connor's like, I'm the source of power here.
I think they're both good people. I just don't. The name of the thing is just what's weird to me. Community champions. I feel like it's such a vague award because they both got nominated for such different reasons. Like one was just because she's a good role model, and the other one's because he has a foundation where that raises money and does stuff with it.
The players voted, so I'm staying out of this one.
That's where if it's players, then it should have been like, I don't know. Then I think community champions make sense. Then that actually is what I was thinking. It's just their reasoning for it.
Yeah,
is what's weird.
It was two different like. It was definitely two different rationales.
Like they foster like a strong community within disc golfers and like bring pros together and like stuff like that. They unite people and unify people instead of it being like she's a good role model for young female athletes. He has a foundation that does things like that. That doesn't. Those two things don't speak community champion to me. They speak like good people, like good people.
The good people award.
That's a good people
award. I think next year you should head up the award. Connor King.
Yeah, I'll take over it. Yeah. But I don't have. Just to be clear, I think that they both deserve an award for those things.
Just to be clear, Connor hates.
No, I just don't want it to sound like I'm just finding something wrong with it. I just don't.
You found it.
Community champions. It's voted by the pros. That's really cool. Come on, Lenovo.
You got to remind yourself. No sponsors though.
But like community, the fact that it's community champions, I like the name.
He likes it.
I like the name as is because I understand what they mean by it. And the fact that pros voted for which pro, I like it.
Now let's talking community.
I love it. But then the reasoning behind them, I don't feel like matches either of those things.
Get them.
So next year we'll have a Connor's Community Award.
No, I don't have any.
I think it matches Paul's right on the nose because like he took disc golf to communities that didn't have disc golf.
Yeah, I guess
I think it less matches what Kristin was nominated for.
I guess what I was thinking is I thought this was who is fostering unity in the disc golf community. Is what I'm
typically
seeing
in sports award. A community award,
and I think both these people are good for that. Yeah. It's just again the reasoning they gave for it is what
typically a disc golf or a sports like community centric award is given out to people who are doing charitable work in a community.
Okay.
So like if I went to go visit sick children in a hospital, that's something that would go towards that award.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's typically in sports.
Okay. I just wanted clarity with the name. I don't have any problems with it. I just wanted I just want clarity with it. I just want clarity.
He's always asking for it. All right. So next we have the All-Star.
I work in sports. I understand sports.
He works in sports. We have the All-Star cards. Now, a lot of people were griping with this is the second and third cards that were announced because the first card is automatically given to the top 4 in the point standings. Okay. So people, for instance, were like, how on earth did Anthony Barella have 4 wins and not get onto the first card? Well, because he was 8th in Pro Tour standings. Mm-hmm. That's why. Ooh. Whether that's flawed or not, I'm just explaining to you that is why. Yeah. So the first card for MPO is Gannon, Rick, Nicklaus, Calvin. The second and third cards, I'll fact check this to see if they went out of order, but I don't think they did. So second card is Isaac Robinson, Ezra Robinson, Paul McBeth, Anthony Barella. That is literally 5-3. And I also remember voting on this that it was pretty cut and dry that like you should vote in order.
Dude, Paul and Ricky still being up there.
Ooh, that's crazy. There was one snub and a pretty big one. And I didn't vote this way. Yeah. So this is the big snub. The third card was announced as Joseph Anderson, James Proctor, Chris Dickerson, and Matty O. Here's why that's a big deal. Because Kyle Klein, who was 10th in the Pro Tour standings, got jumped by 13th James Proctor. So he gets snubbed off of the All-Star.
Why?
Because of voting.
Oh.
Yeah, this comes down to voting.
The third card did? Kyle.
Second and third card.
Second and third card.
We're votes related, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of hot seat for Kyle Klein because that just shows that you're your fandom was not there.
So they're just voting for these are the players we like.
The players they think deserve to be on the All-Star card.
Okay.
And to be fair, like it's not like you could argue James Proctor. I'll mention he had a win, so that's probably why he was able to jump in there. But Matty O did not have a win, and he was also further back. Same with Chris Dickerson.
But I do feel like Matty O has more fandom
or Joseph Anderson
than
rather.
Kyle
No,
Klein.
Joseph Anderson also had a win, right? Yes. So really the big jump is Matty O, who did not have a win, made it in instead of Kyle Klein, who was 2 spots higher and also did not have a win. That's the big jump there. So Matty O still has motion.
Yeah.
Keep that.
I love Matty O.
You're going to keep that in mind.
I like Matty O a lot.
Sad for Kyle Klein.
So much fun.
But hey, now you know what to work on.
Have more fans.
Yeah, make people like you more.
So FPO, top 4 automatic, Missy Gannon, Holland Hanley, Kristin Tatar, Owen Scoggins. That should have been the pick no matter what anyways. Then second card, we have Evelina, Ella Hansen, Kat Murch, and Anniken Steen, which is almost all the way 5 through 8, and omitting Natalie Ryan did not get voted into that card. Anniken Steen actually jumped ahead of Henna Blomroos as well. And then third card would be Silva Saarinen, Rebecca Cox, Paige Pierce.
Whoa.
Wow, so notable.
I mean, that was probably a lot of jumps.
Wow. So Rebecca got in, Henna got in, Paige Pierce jumping in from 14th, and Haley King also getting jumped as well. So definitely some popularity still around for like Paige Pierce, like because
I feel like I haven't heard anything about Paige Pierce in a while.
She did have a win. That's another one. That's another one where like that is a fair argument, and I may have even voted this way as well because like she did have a win this year, so that is valid, but still was very
Trevor, who'd you vote for?
I couldn't even tell you if I tried.
Not in disc golf. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I remember my votes for these being pretty chalk because like it ended up being pretty chalk because although I don't think I snubbed Kyle Klein.
Ooh,
so Kyle Klein fans, you can
out.
back away. So some interesting jumps there on the All-Star cards, but at the end of the day, the All-Star thing is pretty symbolic. If you're on third card All-Star or not, I mean, whatever. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't anything for this.
I can't speak because I don't know how much that means to the players. I guess I'd probably care. So I'm not going to say that it's no big deal.
Well, if you got snubbed,
I would probably care. Yeah. Okay, so now we get to the really spicy one.
Okay.
Player of the year goes to Gannon Burr.
The Potty
Nobody
Award.
could have seen that coming. I'm just kidding.
What?
That's not the spicy one.
Oh.
The Potty Award. P-O-T-Y.
So we've been talking. So Gannon Burr did win that's the abbreviation. Potty. Player of the year. Obviously, Gannon Burr dominated one player of the year. Not a big deal. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
FPO player of the year. We've been talking quite a bit about this one because we were doing a lot of comparisons at the end of the season. There's a lot of interesting things to consider. I feel like a lot of people had decided it was going to be Kristin. Some people even throwing Evelina in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the winner was announced as Missy Gannon.
Okay.
So let me break this down for you because when I first looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, like what are they doing? And I think I'm still probably would have sided towards Kristin, but I think it's very close. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a huge issue with it because I think it is very close. So let me read through the stats. And there's some important things. This is the graphic that was getting floated around and has been getting floated around since the end of the season, okay? So the way it goes is major victories, Kristin has 1. Evelina had 2. Missy had 1.
Okay.
Elite victories, Kristin had 5. Missy had 5. Evelina had 2.
Okay.
So if we just start there, I think a lot of people immediately, it was like, okay, how much do you weigh Evelina's majors? Was she going to get in the mix? I thought she potentially could. I thought Evelina was going to get a lot of votes because if you don't know, this award comes down to points, fan vote, tour card vote, pretty evenly weighed. So most of the people online, and this speaks to the fandom of Kristin Tatar, were complaining about Kristin. So we're going to talk more about Kristin. We're just going to say that Evelina's 2 elite wins to go along with her 2 majors wasn't enough for people.
Okay.
So we're just going to assume that. So let's talk about Kristin versus Missy because this is where it gets interesting. So obviously the big argument is the amount of events played. Kristin was injured for a good portion of the season, missed a good bit of events, and was able to accomplish arguably the same thing in less events. And then the question is, should Missy be punished for that? Because Missy obviously ended up winning the point standings because she played more events. She did have the same amount of wins. The other thing to mention that is not included in this graphic, and I think this is very important, is you have the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship that Kristin won.
Yeah.
That's not included here. That's always one that I think people get hung up on because in my mind, I think the players treat that like a major.
It's a big tournament.
It's a big tournament.
That's a big
I
deal.
think it's probably the hardest to win all year long. I give some weight to that. But Missy then also did go and win the Pro Tour Championship.
Okay.
And I always give a little bit of weight to that as well because, she over 4 rounds of disc golf with a little head start, but still was able to go and get that done. So you consider both those facts as you digest this.
Okay.
These are the important stats beyond just the wins and the DGPT standing. So average finishing place, Kristin 2.6 to Missy's 5.32. Worst finish, Kristin 8, Missy 22nd. Not a huge deal. Event average rating, 996 for Kristin, 982 for Missy. Podium finishes. Kristin went 12 for 15, 80%. Missy went 9 for 22, 41%. So had less podiums in 7 more events. I think that's a real big deal.
Yeah.
Top 10 finishes. Kristin went 15 for 15. Missy went 20 for 22, which is also very good. Total events played was 15 to 22 in favor of Missy. So I think this is very close. I think if you look at it...
I don't think it's criminal.
I think if you look at it and you do not punish Kristin for... If you were to say events played doesn't matter, I think it's pretty clear based on the average finishing places and such that you have to give it to Kristin in that case. Unless, like the recency bias for Missy winning the Pro Tour Championship, that recency bias of that event always rings true in the votes for these things. But I do also think that as many people are saying, there's a lot of people that are saying... I'm trying to give arguments for both sides because, like I said, I think I would still have leaned towards giving it to Kristin. I think that a lot of people are on this train of thought, but there's voter fatigue, right? When you have a player who's great for a really long time, it's the same thing that kind of happened with LeBron and the MVPs. People just kind of stop voting for them because they get a little numb to it, especially for Kristin, who this season maybe she did not have the season she had last year, but last season was great. Maybe the greatest season of all time.
It makes you feel like she didn't do great because she did worse than she did last year. But
so people get a little bit of voter fatigue, and I think that attributes to this.
But also recency bias. Didn't Missy won the Tour Championship, which was the last event played, right?
There's always going to be some of that. I also think that there's a lot of people arguing on Kristin's side saying, well, look, she had more podiums and she had better average finishing place and a better worst finish. Let's look at those two.
Okay.
Yeah, you could argue that, but also if she had played 22 events, she would have had 7 more opportunities to have a worse finishing average place. Not saying she would have, but I'm just saying you have to think of it that way as well.
Yeah.
But I do think the fact that she was able to get more podiums in 7 less starts, that is pretty... and then basically equal the accomplishments. I think that's why I would have given it to Kristin, and I think a lot of people are pretty frustrated with that. But at the end of the day, it was very close. I don't think it was a shocking giveaway. Like I said, you can never know. Like maybe the players were tired of voting for Kristin. There's going to be friendships there involved as well. Missy's very well liked.
I was going to say, I feel like in Pro Tour, Missy might be more popular than...
I don't know.
Like among friends and everything like that within the tour.
Yeah.
Because she's on tour more.
She's on tour life a lot.
That's true.
It's tough to say. I also think though, and
the Pro's favorite podcast.
Obviously because she had the Pro Tour, it might have just been a matter of, it might have been Kristin might have won the other 2 categories, and it might have just been the fact that she was first in the Pro Tour points. It might have just been too much to overcome. It might be that simple. And hey, that it is what it is. She came in first.
I don't think
how the system works.
My opinion on this doesn't hold much weight, but I like for Player of the Year amount of tournaments played coming into play. I like that the player that plays more. Not in this situation specifically. I just mean that in general, I don't mind that being a factor.
Yeah, I think
it the most overwhelming factor.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that which one of these two deserve it. I'm just saying I like that is taken as part of it.
So I would like it if I do like that criteria in a situation where, let's say Kristin had played half the events that Missy did. Let's say she only played 11.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if it holds up in this situation. I just mean that I like that it's taken in a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm saying if Kristin had played 11 events and she had won 2/3 of Missy's events, and then people were just saying, well, what if she'd have had the rest of the season?
Yeah.
But she didn't match Missy's accomplishments. That's where I'm like, you got to play.
Yeah,
you got to play. But considering that she equaled or overachieved what Missy did in less, then it's like, well, what does it matter if she didn't play more?
And when it was 15 versus 22?
For events played, yes. Yeah,
That's where I mean that's a lot more events, but it's not half.
That I feel like whenever you get to that point where it's like now it's like, well, yeah, if she had 7 more events, it's a pretty low chance that she doesn't win at least one more of those 7 events.
Yeah, but I still feel, maybe I just feel more respect for the player that played more.
Well, she was injured.
I know. I'm just saying that, like, as a player, I think that you're right in the sense that she was injured. I don't mean that. I just mean, like, if you have 2 players, I think the one that played more seems more like if they have similar accomplishments, the one that played more is the better player in my head. But this is not this situation. I'm speaking in a different. I just mean that I like it whenever players play more. That's all. That's my statement.
Okay. I don't think it's like an egregious decision because like it comes down to the voting.
No,
so
it's
like
close.
It wasn't, it's not that crazy. And also you have some voters like, there are some people who are voting and probably looking very close and combing through the stats, and some people are like, yeah, I think it was Missy. And you wouldn't have been that far off. I just think it was slightly towards Kristin. Let us know in the comments below what you think. I think I'll probably know what you're going to say because it seems like there's a lot of like this award has become a running joke type comments going down. But yeah, that is. I did see some support for Missy as well, and she had a great season. So
Missy's really nice.
Don't be haters. She's very nice.
Okay, that is it for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Awards. We're gonna get into Trevor's trivia right after these messages.
Dude, Trev, what have you cooked up for us today?
All right, we're gonna play a game we've played before. I think this will be really fun and interesting to see how Silas does. So you guys are gonna be competing.
Oh. Trevor, are you mad at me?
No.
I feel like you're mad at me.
Not even remotely.
Just kidding.
Basically, we are looking to get the highest prices we can get on eBay.
Ooh.
And the way this game works is it's not an easy one. Is you are going to get a certain amount of keywords. So you're each going to get 3. We're going to do 3 kind of matches here. In the first round, you're going to get 3 keywords.
Okay.
In the second, you're going to get 4. In the final round, you get 5. The only words that can be repeated in this game entirely are disc and golf. So once somebody and it carries over the rounds. So once somebody says discraft, it can't be said the rest of the game.
Ooh.
So you're gonna have to start getting creative.
Okay.
So Connor, you've played this game before. So the way, and then to explain further, I'll have you give the keywords, and then you're gonna give me a number, and then that's the number I'm gonna scroll to, and that's your price. And these are going to be. They're going to be sorted by sold items.
So what's our objective?
Actually,
the most monies.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be going by sold items. Yeah,
I
want
want the most
expensive.
money.
All right, Connor, you can go first. You have 3 keywords. Obviously, let me be clear. It has to be a disc.
Okay.
It has to be a disc. If you name one and it lands on something that isn't
Bugatti Veyron.
Also, it has to be a singular disc. It can't be a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I get iPad prototype?
I'm going to go with 2015 Sexton Firebird.
Ooh.
2015
Is that the first year
Sexton
they made
Firebird.
them?
Yeah.
So that is you're taking the big one off the board.
Yeah.
Let me filter this.
That's the cheater one right there. I think last time we played this game, I made the mistake of saying 2016, and the Hunter was like, "Why wouldn't you say 2015?" And I was like, "That's a good point, Hunter. I'm a dummy."
Okay, what number do you want?
Oh. Two.
Whoa.
So 2 is a lot, so we'll have to default to 3. This is a very unfair.
Two is a lot.
I was gonna ask you before we did this if we should just take the Sexton Firebird off the table because it's the Trump answer.
It's not gonna trump in this case.
Really?
Because unfortunately for you, there's not really 2015 Sexton Firebird being sold right now.
Oh.
So what you actually landed on was a 2021 Firebird.
Oh, bummer.
That sold for $22.
Dang.
Yeah.
Why'd you say I couldn't take 2?
It was a lot of 2 discs.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, you said I couldn't take a lot, but you're right. What was number 1?
It was $30 for you to get to. Let me see if there's actually any
There's just not any
2015s.
Well, it's for sold, right?
Yeah, there just hasn't been a lot of 2015 selling.
Dang, I should have
Like
said
there's a 2017 down
Well, there you go,
there.
Hunter. That's why I said 2016. That's why, because I knew 2015
I don't know if we
were
did
being
sold
sold.
items last time, because if it was listed,
I
it
think
might
we
have been
did.
higher. But
I think we
yeah,
did
there
do
hasn't
sold.
been a 2015 sold.
Dang, that's a
here's the other
bummer.
thing. Right now they just dropped 10-year 2015 stamped anniversary disc. So that's what all of these are.
Okay, well that's good. I felt bad
didn't break
taking
the game.
I
Yeah.
felt bad taking that one. But I felt like I had to, so I'm glad that went the way it
Okay,
did.
so
$22.
doors open.
I get
for you.
three words.
I kind of
Three
wish
words.
I kind of wish I would have at least gotten like 40. That would have been nice. Like 20. That
3
that
words. You
hurts.
can't say 2015.
That's just a new Luna.
You can't say Sexton, and you can't say Firebird.
2015 Sexton.
Write these down so I remember what
Okay,
we've taken.
so I'm gonna go. I feel like I need to go vintage here. I need to go old.
Okay.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go.
Innova. That's a good one to take.
Vintage,
Vintage.
Oh, he's going this way.
I like that.
and then collector.
Collector. I like that, Silas. That's a new angle.
Actually, we always just go for specific discs. That's smart, Silas. You're a smart
Very
guy.
smart. Okay.
Where'd you get all these smarts
Let
from?
me
Your
sort
mama or
this.
your papa?
Let me sort this by sold.
Where'd you get them from?
All right, Silas, which
I don't
number
know.
would you like?
It's like, how do I answer that question?
Which number would you like?
I'll take number. I feel like number 1's gonna be a. Number 2 is gonna be a.
Okay.
Number 3, I like number 3.
Rookie mistake.
Number
I'm just
3?
kidding.
Is a new vintage Innova, so just new condition. Vintage Innova pre-flight number DX Jaguar, old
come on.
collector, original patent.
Surely it's not more than $50.
It is
Probably
$30.
Okay.
$30.
Okay.
Not bad though,
All right.
Silas.
You're ahead of me.
That was a very fun angle.
That was a good idea.
Okay, Connor, you get 4 keywords.
I'm gonna go with expensive. I'm just kidding.
You can.
I'm not gonna.
Oh. Wasn't a bad idea. Silas might take that.
Yeah, I might.
He might
I
take
just
that if you
might.
don't
That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna let. I now feel like Silas isn't gonna take any of the ones that I'm thinking.
Okay.
Probably
So
not.
I think I'm gonna.
I think we're on 2 different angles, two different ways.
We are. I think you're gonna win with that, and I'm excited to see what happens. But I'm gonna go with Discraft,
Okay.
Buzzsaw.
That's 2. That's 3 words. So you get 1 more. Buzz and saw are 2 in this context.
I said Discraft.
Right. I'm saying so you're now at 3
You have
words.
one
Oh,
more
I get
word.
4.
You get 4.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go with. I don't remember if the USDGC ones are worth more, or if I should just leave it at that. Because I mean, I don't know what to go with. Should maybe go first run.
Well, you can't
That's-
say
can't-
first, right?
yeah. I can't remember if the USDGC ones are worth more.
Wait, why can't you say first run?
That's 2
What
more
is-
words. He only has.
Okay, but I can use that.
You can.
Yeah, you can use
You have
first
enough
run.
words.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna leave it as is.
Discraft Buzzsaw. You're not going to use your last word.
I don't know what. I'm scared that if I say I want to say USDGC, but I'm scared that those are worth less.
Okay. Locking that in?
No, I'll just throw it out
Say
there.
like new.
Rare.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
that's
That's
good.
what we'll say.
Yeah.
To be
that
clear,
was
I
good.
think USDGC would have definitely helped you.
Okay,
But rare's a
I
good.
couldn't remember.
Rare's a good shout. That's
couldn't remember.
solid. That's a good.
That's
one.
a good generic one.
Okay, which number would you like?
2.
Oh, he nailed it.
Oh,
Discraft Buzzsaw Halloween Rare Disc Golf, $90.
Oh,
you had a
that's
lot of
pretty-
high.
Big
Everything was
money
basically
guy.
50 and above there.
Okay,
that was
okay.
a good one. Really well done there. All right, Silas.
Okay.
Connor's kind of on it. Sometimes Connor gets frazzled in these
cooking.
trivia games. You're on it today. You're
Connor's
getting the high
cooking.
value ones. Connor is.
I think
on it.
Hunter intimidates me. That's the problem.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
Because I'm
No
just
more
scared.
Discraft,
I'm
no
scared
more
whenever I
Buzzsaw.
answer that Hunter's gonna be disappointed in me.
Same
It's like,
man.
why would you pick that one? I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Ken Climo.
Ken Climo.
Expensive.
Expensive. I like it. I like it.
First run.
You can't,
Wait,
that's
is that 5?
too many. That's 5.
Ken Climo.
Run.
And Ken Climo. But, like, he doesn't have any first run. Like, they don't do that runs.
Also, Ken Climo's 2 words.
Yeah.
But you can say
I could
first run.
Ken Climo first run. But they
I don't think that's not a verbiage
runs.
they would use with that. I don't
Ken
think.
I don't know.
Climo.
These eBay sellers are kind of wild, though.
Yeah.
Ken Climo.
Uh-huh. You sticking with expensive? New?
Expensive.
New expensive.
You think they're going to put in the title expensive?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Okay, let's look at sold items. Oops.
Man, I hope it's something.
Man.
Okay,
Juicy.
what number would you like?
I want, just in Trevor's tone there, I just knew there wasn't going to be anything for sale.
You're talking about these are all sold.
He's
Okay.
in sold.
I'm looking at a bunch of
Oh,
discs.
you're
right
looking
now.
at sold.
He's looking
Yeah,
at sold.
looking at a bunch of
I'm
discs.
going to go with number 1.
Shouldn't have gone there. Number 1 is an Innova Champion Eagle, Ken Climo.
Just that's it.
1650.
Expensive. Innova Champion Eagle. Expensive.
It's supposed to be
Did
expensive.
you say 650?
1650.
Was there another one on there that was like a big money hitter?
No, there was a $30, a couple $30, some 25s.
Do we have one more round?
Oh!
Oh, he has an idea. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
one more round.
I
Anything
do
can
know.
happen.
Saz,
in this
I'm going to
game.
give you a hint before we
Oh,
go.
no. I don't want your hints,
no.
bro.
All
Take
right,
your
that's
hints
fine.
back.
I'm
Bury
sorry.
'em.
I take them back.
Use your
I
own
apologize.
hints.
I
Anything can
apologize.
happen in this game. You could stumble upon a $400 disc.
No, I know. I just like
There are
that's fine.
2
That's
avenues
fine.
that have yet to been
I
expired in
have
this game.
one avenue.
That was not me saying, Silas, I know I'm going to win, so let me make it easier for you. That was just me being friendly. But you're right. I shouldn't be friendly. I hate myself.
Yeah. What's your all right? 5 keywords, no repeats. What do you have here?
I'm gonna go with Simon
Oh, there it is.
Lizotte.
There's the other avenue. There's one more chance basically out there now.
I still have an avenue.
There's one more avenue.
I've got an avenue.
But Simon Lizotte one that's the big
But
one.
which one?
I should have gone the Simon.
You get 5 words. There's 2.
5 words.
Up to 5.
Yeah, what Simon Lazai Avenue do you go down?
Did you say first run?
No.
Yeah, I think I might go first run.
Okay.
Do I go like timeline or?
Timeline?
That would be an interesting pick considering it doesn't exist.
That's true.
Let's see what time
Is that what the new disc?
Time lapse. Well, sorry,
Timeline.
I confuse it with guitar pedals.
Timeline, dirty timeline, real quick.
Hilarious. Strymon timeline. That would be for more. $500.
Yeah, one more word though.
Do I go time lapse? Do I go Lizotte? Do I go Sky God?
Could.
No, I'm staying away from the oldies.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go time lapse. That is.
Time lapse.
Why didn't you go like old?
No, I think this is probably the right way to go.
Oh, you think new is the way?
time
okay.
lapses?
Yeah.
The proto time lapses.
Oh,
were
proto. You're thinking
nuts.
proto.
These things were nuts. Okay. What would you like? What number would you like?
4. Nope. 3.
That scared the
Ooh.
crap out of me.
Wait, did you say proto?
I said first run.
Oh,
You
I didn't
ended
remember.
up with Simon Lizotte Prism Neutron Time Lapse Proto,
Okay.
$51.
Okay. There we
that's
go.
a good.
That's
That's a good
That's
pick.
good.
That's a good.
What were the big money ones there? Any?
There was a 70. There
Okay,
was a
so nothing crazy.
Let me see if there's anything nuts down here. Dude, some of this stuff, like... Oh, that was pre-owned. Okay. Discs, man, they just don't pop. Like, some of these just don't pop the way these... I mean, these things, you got to get them right away. They just don't hold.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go further back.
There's some
Because I bet-
crazy Simon, like, FDs back here. That are
That's
like
what I thought
70.
about going further back, Trevor. That way I would get some of the ones sold like when
All
they
right.
first
But
came
that's
out.
only
but
70.
So
That's not that
Silas,
much of a
you need a
difference.
big one, but it's out
need
there.
a big one, and I
he's
think I know
he's
where
at
I need to go.
162. You're at 4650.
he thinks he knows.
So you need
where
like
he needs to go.
$120
Okay, with
to
this
win.
He thinks
disc,
he
I
knows where
think
he
I
needs to
can. Paul Macbeth,
Okay.
4 claw.
That was the other avenue.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Paul Macbeth,
Paul Macbeth,
4 claw.
That's
Do you want the number
4.
4 or the letter 4 or the written 4?
That's a good question.
I want the number 4.
Smart.
Because I think that's what's probably going to
smart.
be in titles.
Four claw.
Four claw.
One more word.
He wants F-O-R-E.
There's one word you could say right now that would probably change your fate.
Really?
Yeah. You wouldn't think of it, so you don't
my
bother
goodness.
pondering on it.
What is it?
Oh,
There's
signed.
that was not the right word,
No.
but that could be interesting. The word I was thinking of was black. That would have been huge.
Oh.
But-
Are those the most rare?
Typically, ink brings down the value though in disc golf.
didn't
But
know
with
that.
Paul and the four claw, it might not. This
Might
could be,
not,
this will
you
be
say?
this will be interesting. Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Oh, boy.
Oh, frick.
Come on. So you're saying there's a chance.
He's saying there's a chance.
What's the number you want?
Oh, this decides it all.
Trevor,
I
don't
feel
give him
like
any hints.
I'm not giving hints.
This decides it all. I'm going to go with, I like sticking to the top.
I know you do.
I'm just trying to see what Trevor's
Not going to give you nothing.
I'm just scrolling.
He's a
down.
stone cold
Okay.
killer poker face.
Okay. I'm going to go with number 3.
So there were numerous discs on here that would have given you the win.
No.
Number 1 was $128.
No.
Holy buns, what is it?
It's a four claw buzz.
Okay.
Number 2 was $61. It's a Z Force four claw. Number 3 was another buzz, worth only $80.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a good pick, though. That's a good pick.
There were some big ones on there. Some buzzes that were going for a lot of buzzes that went for over 100, like 175, 190.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What
I
were
think
those numbers? Number 5? Number
They were pretty far down there.
Okay.
I think if you had said, let's see if you had said black, if that would have done what I think it could have done. Like if I look,
I would have said
zone also. Like,
Yeah.
but I guess the buzzes though, it turns out like are really. Those
I would have
super
thought
expensive ones.
zone.
So yeah, if you had said black, the first one would have been 250. Second one would have been 130. The fourth one would have been 120. The fifth one 175.
The
There was
black
a
on
lot.
black ones are.
Wow.
That was where the money
Okay.
was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't.
good to know.
I didn't expect. you to
So,
figure
Silas,
it
what
out,
I was
but-
going to say is what I've learned from us doing these games, what we've all learned, is that you will always be disappointed if you go old. The
Really?
old
Most
old
of the
discs
time,
just
yeah.
they just don't
They
hold their
don't
value
sell?
as much as you wish they would.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be the
Man.
hype discs. The hype discs are the ones that get it. And also, yeah, you usually ink for some reason in disc golf is less valuable.
I think it's because it's so easy to get a signature.
that's true. The
Yeah.
players are very accessible.
Very accessible.
That's a very good
Very
point,
accessible.
Silas. Yeah.
Okay.
Very wise.
One last thing before we
Where'd
get
you
into
get your wisdom from? Your mom or your dad?
his teeth.
Hmm.
One last thing before we get into our in the bag topic is a little bit of off-season movement news. This is actually very interesting considering how synonymous this player is with this brand.
Ken Climo.
So Shea Stevens,
Shea Stevens is moving?
yeah, Shea Stevens, our source on this one.
Team Foundation.
He got it from somewhere else. It's not like he leaked it, but he said if you're hurting for rumors, Casey White is likely leaving Discmania,
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
which they're very synonymous with each
I
other.
wonder what his tactic
On Staggered
is.
Stance, which used to be the Nick and Matt show, Nick asked him to come down to Cactus Rock to film content on the course, and Casey asked to wait until January, implying he has to wait to show his new disc. I think he's assuming that, but that does sound about right. In the Discmania Mystery Box promo, he's not pictured with the team around the table. Another good point.
Yeah. Why were some of them dressed up and some of them weren't?
A slightly weaker piece
That's
of
what I
evidence
asked.
is aside from his van video, he's been wearing shorts and a polo, implying he's been writing banked content he filmed while it was warmer. That's actually good investigative journalism there,
Yeah.
Shay. So yeah, those are all really solid clues, and I think that would be that does point towards a move, and that's very interesting because he has been very tied to that brand. The real question is now,
Where is he going?
does he end up at MVP right back with Simon?
I kind of feel like he could.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what's going to
It's
happen.
gonna be a gyro knot.
Also, the fact that Shea is digging and he's like the MVP guy.
True.
Yeah.
Shay.
Yeah, I would go ahead and submit that.
And
as
those
my-
guys are buds, Simon and
Yeah.
Casey.
I think
yeah.
I think that sounds like an MVP move if I've ever seen one.
I agree.
All right, in the bag for today. Today's topic is I'll change the verbiage from the last one. Discs that everybody seems to bag. So this could either be a really popular disc, like yeah, there are just a lot of discs that people bag, or just like kind of some more obscure ones that you just feel like for some reason everybody seemed to have one in their bag for one reason or another. It's just like, oh my gosh, you've got one of those too. That's kind of the idea behind this list. So I won last week. I'm not sure on the points. We'll have to update you next week. But I'll choose the order. I think there's so many options with this one.
Yeah,
so many
there
options.
There are.
I wasn't really able to find as many obscure ones as I was hoping, but I think I have a couple that maybe people wouldn't have. So I'm gonna go last. I want Connor to go first, then Silas, then me.
Okay.
Lead off for us, Big Connor.
I'll start. This one is the most obvious one in my opinion.
Yeah.
The disc that it seems like everybody has
Yeah.
What's that?
is a Buzz.
That's a
Yeah.
That's
It seems like everybody bags a Buzz.
Yeah. Especially nowadays. Nowadays. That's a good pick. Good pick.
And I think to a person that doesn't bag a Buzz, it feels the most like this.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's none of them out there according to what I just said, but I don't bag a Buzz. But it feels to me like everybody bags a Buzz, and I feel like I'm constantly being judged for not having a Buzz.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Silas?
Oh, I'm second.
On the behalf of Hunter, Silas.
On the behalf of Hunter, this is a big
And Hunter
deal.
did give permission. He said, I want to let Silas run with it. So this is actually for Hunter's points.
Yeah,
I'm going to run with Hunt.
Okay.
I'm going to run with him.
You're going to run with him?
No.
He's fast, and he runs for a long time.
I can't do that.
Okay.
We can't talk about running, though, on this podcast.
That's funny. This guy, he picks up.
Dude, this guy's crazy.
I'm going to go with Wraith because I feel like in the spirit of Hunter, he's the Innova guy.
In remembrance
That's
of
right.
Hunter.
In remembrance
Hunter
of
is
Hunter.
a big Wraith guy, so that's a good pick. Yeah.
Is he?
No.
No.
In remembrance of Hunter.
I'm gonna go.
In memoriam.
I'm gonna go with two picks. One that's
Tupac.
a little that's like classic.
Whoa.
One that's a little more recent. I'm gonna take the Destroyer
Okay.
because when it comes to distance drivers, you don't see many bags of that one. And then I'm gonna take one that's a little
You're
more
correct.
recent, but I've been seeing a lot.
Dark Horse.
The Envy.
Yeah.
I've been
Dang it.
seeing
I
a
had that on my
ton
list.
of Envies.
Yeah, people do be throwing the envy.
recently. So I got Destroyer and Envy. I need to write this down. I'm not really good at this podcast hosting thing.
That's not true, Trevor. That's not even true a little bit. You're fantastic.
You are so
You're actually
good,
doing
Trev.
really, really well, Trevor.
I feel like for once when Hunter was gone, we actually had like some really interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, that is
It was
usually we're just coming up with stuff.
It was a real good time. Okay, so Silas, it goes back to you. You took Wraith. Your next pick is you get one
do
here.
I get two?
Just one here. You're not on the end. You're in the middle, so you're always gonna be picking one.
You're not a snake.
Okay. I'm going to pick. I have two. Well, I have a lot more than two.
He's got a lot.
But I'm going to go with Zone.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
was
good
that was
pick.
on my list. That
That's
was
a
my
good
second
pick.
one.
That's
That was
a
my
good
second
pick.
one. You jerk.
All right, Connor.
You
get two here.
I think this one. Oh, I get two?
Yeah.
Dope. I'm gonna go with
You hit that note, dude.
He hits notes.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
He hits
that was-
notes.
that was
Yeah,
good.
I have notes.
Keep in mind, he has notes.
I'm gonna go with the Berg here.
Ooh,
It really feels like
good pick.
more and more every day.
Good pick.
Yeah.
I didn't
More and
think
more
about
every day
that.
feels like everybody's getting
That's
a
a
Berg.
great pick. I didn't think about that one.
And I feel like everybody's like, yeah, I finally
Yeah.
went with one. I can't take it out. It's one of the best
I
discs
love
ever.
that.
Yep.
Love that pick.
And everyone with a Berg in their bag loves the Berg.
Love that pick. Love you as well.
Thank you. I love you too. You're a very handsome young man.
All right. You got Connor to get him started. Yeah.
My other one, trying to decide between two of them.
Sound like a perfect dap right there.
I'm gonna go with the Luna.
Okay. Yeah. Very
Yeah,
popular.
a lot of people have Lunas
I like
in their
that
bags.
pick. That's a very good pick where it didn't come to mind right away as like a super popular disc, but when you think about it,
Yeah.
so many people putt with Lunas.
Yeah, so many people putt with Lunas.
I like that.
Well, it's because they had to put a down payment on them in order to put them in their bag, so they're putting with them for as long as they can.
All right.
Lunas
Silas.
are expensive.
One
They
pick
are.
for
I
you, Big
putt with
Si.
Lunas.
One pick for you.
One pick?
Yeah, you're in the middle. You're always going to get
How
one
do
pick
I
at a
only
time.
get one pick, Trev?
Because it's snaking. You see how that works? So it goes.
I
it goes
never got
1,
two
2,
picks.
3, 4.
Trevor, I never got two picks.
You're never going to get two picks because you're in the middle.
Why?
The middle is not the snake, only the
Only
ends.
two picks.
But I have to wait longer. Like,
All right,
one pick.
Fine.
this guy's like, I didn't make it up.
The middle is the worst spot.
It feels like it, but it's not. It's statistically.
None of them are bad.
Yeah, none of them are really that bad. It's just certain drafts. Some are better than others.
Yeah.
Okay,
but the
I'm
middle's
going
fine.
in the spirit of Hunter.
Yeah.
I'm going with
In memoriam.
in memoriam of Hunter.
He's not dead.
Oh, does that mean somebody's dead?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, in the spirit of Hunter, I will say the Hex.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good pick.
dang, that's
that
on
was
my
on my list.
list.
Very good pick.
Dang, man.
You're kind of heating up
That's a
here,
good one.
Silas.
That's a good
That,
one.
I don't have any more, right?
You have one more.
Oh.
After I pick my last
Better
two.
start thinking.
All right.
I really hope you don't take my Trevor. I will cry.
So I'm going to take Rock.
I'm just kidding. That's not mine.
Because that one I
That's a
needed to
good
come off
fake.
the board.
Fake
like
them
when it
out.
come Buzz, Ben Rock, kind of hand in hand.
Yeah. Makes sense. I feel like all the Buzz guys feel like everybody has a rock, and all the rock guys feel like everybody has a Buzz.
This
That's
last
true.
one, I need
Trevor
to
has
do.
both.
I need to do a tiny little thinking about.
You have a Buzz and a rock in your bag?
I did.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it feels gross to me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with it,
I
actually.
wish I still had that Buzz, man. Ah! I need to think about this last pick because I've
Old
got.
Orange? You talking about Old Orange?
There's one that I'm thinking
Big
about.
orange?
It was like kind
Something
of.
in
It
the
was
orange?
like red. It was like that pink one, that beat-in pink one I had.
You're right. I see an only orange.
I'm trying to, because I had one that I was considering. I had a couple I was considering that. I feel like I need another kind of hype beast pick
I've got exactly one more on my list.
because I kind of have two
Same.
classics, one sort of hype. I need to go back to the hype right now.
Back on the hype.
to the hype.
And
Here
there's
he
one
goes.
disc I kind of thought of
we
that
go.
is pretty hyped, but I don't really feel like that many people are actually bagging it. So I need to just erase that from my memory. Oh man, this is tough.
Oh, one thing also to note about people who putt with Lunas is they get really upset whenever you say the Luna and the Roach are very similar.
They do. They get triggered.
Yeah, they do get triggered. I get it.
I
If I spent $22
with
on a
Lunas.
baseline putter, I would feel the same way.
I putt with Lunas. I don't. They're the same thing.
Salas is a known lunar
Lunar.
putter.
He's a known
He's a
lunar.
lunar.
I'm a lunar.
Okay. I think
What you need is a lunar plastic Big Con Wizard. Coming
Is
soon.
that a plastic?
This is hard. All right.
Trev, what are you picking, dog?
Yeah, this is interesting.
All right.
I think your 30 seconds is up.
I'm going to go with the glitch.
I thought
Dang
about
it!
that.
That was on my list, Trevor.
That was on my. I thought about that, but I didn't put it on there because that was the. Whenever I asked, is the question bagged or owned? I don't feel like a lot of people bag it.
I do see it a decent bit.
Yeah, I still think it's a good pick
in the
though.
right circles. There's
Yeah.
just a lot of hype around it. And I just
Yeah, of
know,
course.
here's what I know. I know that every time we get them, they sell out.
Yeah.
So there's got to be people throwing them out there.
That's true.
So I feel okay about that. All right, Salas, your last pick.
I respect
Sorry,
you.
That took me a while.
Dude, you took my pick.
It was written down. I just had to ponder it.
You want to know what I'm doing?
No.
I'm looking at the most what do you
Popular
call it? Most
discs in the
popular
world.
discs. Yeah.
Silas
And
had to go to his
so-
resources. He had to dig deep here.
You had to Google
I'm going with
best-selling discs of all time.
the AVR.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I thought about going
That's a
AVR.
great one. Yeah.
I like that.
I don't know how many people still putt or use
Everybody
AVR,
who has
but
had a starter set, though.
Mhm.
Like, they
That's
do
true.
stick
Very
around.
true.
That's a
That's a
good
good
pick.
point.
Very true.
Okay. Connor,
Um,
last pick. This is big for you. You got a good
here we
list
go.
going here.
This one, I'm going more on the beginner side.
Yeah. I thought about going that way. That's kind of the AVR pick. That's a good one.
I was gonna say everybody's locked in, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Sexton Firebird because it does feel like everybody has
Ooh,
Sexton
that is
Firebird.
a great pick, to be honest, though. But it may be a better pick 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead, what I'm gonna go with, and this one might be less popular. I fully admit that this is probably a worse answer, but
He's admitting it.
I want to say this one more.
Okay.
Is a DX Leopard.
I thought about that one as well.
It's every single one of my friends who started playing disc golf the past couple years still have a DX Leopard in their
Yeah.
bag.
That's a good pick.
Because you know what? You play with it whenever you're brand new, it works. But then it just turns into your super flippy disc. And as a beginner, you need to have that because you need to have the disc that you know is going to go right.
Yeah.
And so they all keep it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good. I did consider that pick. Any of the starter set discs are great picks. Okay, there it is. There's our list. Those will be up there. If you haven't voted on them yet, you can go over to Twitter and Instagram and vote.
I'm proud of my list. I
because
think we
they're-
all had good lists.
They're anonymous for everybody else, but if you're listening to the show, you know whose list is whose.
Yeah.
So vote whose list you think best represents that category disc that everybody seems to bag.
A disc that everybody seems to bag.
Everybody.
Wow.
And,
Voiceover con.
That's it for the show. A lot of fun things today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hunter will be back next week.
Oh, we don't get to do Saw Select because
No,
he's here.
He's here.
And Hunter's gone.
And
That's the
Hunter's
biggest
gone.
thing.
That'll be it. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having
Love
me.
you. I love you. Bye.